Hello everyone, and welcome to this Telit webinar, Managing Your Global IoT Devices and Connections at Scale. I'm Amanda Flink, Head of Global Events here at Telit, and I will be your moderator for today's event. Before we start, we'd like to gauge an idea of how familiar you are with some of our cellular modules. If you could, please take a second to fill out the poll question, which you should see on your screen now. Now let's get to know our speakers. To explain this topic today, I am pleased to be joined by three speakers. First, we have Matt Hoover. Matt is the CEO at Embedded Planet. Second, we have Chris Trowbridge. Chris is the Manager of Software Engineering at Embedded Planet. And third, we have Bill Dykes, who is a Product Manager here at Telit. Just before I hand it over to Bill to start the presentation, a few quick reminders for our audience. I would like to encourage you to interact by posting questions. We will have time to answer some of those at the end of the presentation. Simply submit a question by posting in the box to the right of the slides. Also, please be sure to check out the resources section in the upper right-hand corner of your screen for additional information. Finally, we will send out this presentation and a replay link to all of the attendees at the conclusion of this webinar. And with that, Bill, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you, Amanda. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bill Dykes, and as Amanda said, I'm the product manager here at Telit for our IoT platform. I'm going to lay the background for device management and managing devices for with the Telit system and embedded Planet products. So let me just get started and change. So one of the things that's happened in the IoT space is some companies have sort of declared this connection to the device as the last mile. We have to connect to the device to get data and treat it as the last mile. But really, that's a legacy viewpoint on this. And from Telit's perspective, if you can't connect to the device and manage the device and get the data from the device, you're really not starting. So from our perspective, the first mile is actually connecting to the machinery, and that includes whether it be devices in the field, in the factory, everything from a small agricultural sensor all the way up to large energy management systems for windmills, etc. So, and what we've seen happen over time is there's a trend in terms of technologies that are affecting the communication and the connection to all of these things, devices, whether it be a transition into 5G, whether it be security, whether you're dealing with things from the cloud and the fog, or you're dealing for them at the edge. And so there's so many things that when you're dealing with the device management, and what we're going to show you today is this layer of complexity can be handled with some of the products and the technologies that we've brought together to address them. With that said, these all lead to, there's been a number of roadblocks and reasons for failure, whether it's IoT challenges, and you can see that these don't all just add up to 100, but they overlap each other in terms of like the complex technical challenges, a lack of knowledge, a lack of experience. Because many of these, every time people are doing a POC, they're doing it for the first time. So what we've done, and it's not a simple thing. And for solution providers, people that are building these solutions for you to implement and connect and manage to these devices, you need to be able to evolve because there's new protocols, there's new situations, and as people come together, they need to be able to maintain these solutions in the field, and that's one of the main goals of device management. One of the main benefits that you want to get to is a point where you've connected, you're managing, but you're also collecting the data so that you can deliver them to those business process applications. So you can see the main benefits that IoT brings. And here are examples of some of the key pain points, whether it be those items in blue where we're talking about slow to implement delays to value, wireless connectivity, edge hardware, high R&D costs, thing identities, end-to-end security, difficulty monitoring to guarantee that quality of service, efficient connections, and lastly, provisioning. All of these kind of come together to lay the groundwork for an end-to-end solution that we talk about. For example, in this, these all play out across the first mile of IoT, whether it be sensors and actuators to edge intelligence, getting across your cellular network, and then all the middleware and the clouds, all this stuff to tie into your actual end business application and services. And this is the picture that describes the first mile of IoT, getting from the device to the cloud, to the application, and to the business process. So when you do this, there's lots of cases where companies have implemented and can build and configure their own solution, but to do it individually, whether it be device management, secure manufacturing, connectivity management as part of an end-to-end stack, what we believe is that what we've done with our OneEdge product, and that's building upon a number of years of work that we've put into our IoT platform, helps to minimize the time and costs associated with building a complete integrated solution. Now, it can be very straightforward for companies to connect one device type to one application, but when you scale up both in scope and numbers, meaning that if you go from a POC to of 100 devices up to tens of thousands, or even in some cases hundreds of thousands, the scale of the system gets very complex and very expensive. And as I said, as you scale out in scope, because very rarely does a business application or a business process stay with one type of device. It either evolves into to get extended into other parts of the organization. Usually it starts off with managing a product as a service, to getting extended into the manufacturing process to help improve and optimize that. So what we're proposing and the work that we've invested in is to make the IoT platform something that is a more configurable experience. And this comes from our OneEdge solution framework. It was announced last year and continues to garner recognition in the industry. In fact, it's won over 7 awards in the last year since its announcement for being Product of the Year in various situations. But the OneEdge deals not only just with device management, but also deals with the edge intelligence of that device, the embedded security, so that from the factory it comes with built-in security, so that when that cellular device boots up, it actually boots up to a predefined organization and your application. And then also within there are the connectivity management services into the platform, meaning you can manage the SIMs and all the SIMs and the connectivity services and the plans that you're associated with. And then lastly, going back to that whole, the 1 mile solution, is the enterprise integration. Meaning, are you integrating into AWS? Are you integrating into Azure or IBM, or some custom application inside your private network? So within our solution framework, we've done a lot of the work that makes this a technically configurable experience and helps you reduce your development time. So let's focus on device management. In the early days, there were big centers, and over time, device management has taken on a bigger role. But it's a process of authenticating onboarding, provisioning, and configuring, and then monitoring. There's a lot of INGs there that deal with the device. It doesn't just stop at an onboarding process, but it starts with the process about the device. You know, I like to say there's two aspects of having an IoT solution and dealing with device management. Typically, device management is dealing with data about the device, but in parallel is the data from the device, the data generated by the device, whether it's managing a temperature or managing a pump or some other complex embedded system. And here's our discussion on why it's managed. Because you're trying to maintain a quality of service uptime and security. You need to make sure it's operating properly in the field, whether it be miles out in the agricultural field or at a oil and gas field, or whether it's on the factory floor. You need to ensure your devices are working properly, and you know, typically there are multiple groups of people that are organizations within the company that are managing or benefiting from the device and the data that comes from that device. You need to make sure that you have your secure access to those devices, and you're monitoring their health and making sure that you can remotely troubleshoot that, because with tens of thousands, if not in some cases hundreds of thousands, the ability to monitor and troubleshoot cannot be done in the field. And then you need to summarize the data that's coming from each of those devices. And so through an operational awareness, you need to be able to be alarmed or warned at any given moment of the exceptions. And then last, the ultimate goal of reducing the total cost of ownership in terms of bringing these devices and these POCs to field as quickly as possible, but also managing them within the context of the overall solution. So I'm going to address a couple of the technical areas as we go forward, but in particular, what we're addressing with OneEdge and this new world of wirelessly attached devices, and in particular the 4G low power wide area network, whether it be narrowband IoT or Cat-M, the network congestion, the connected all, the interferences and performance. All of that needs to be monitored through device management, and we have that today. In how we've implemented it is we're leveraging the industry standard Lightweight M2M. It's one of the, while MQTT has been around and been one of the leading protocols for managing and collecting and connecting to devices, Lightweight M2M is one of the next generations. And it's really focused on low power constrained devices, meaning whether it be, and it's being extended into beyond battery powered devices, but it was originally developed for those field devices that may only be communicated with once a month or once a week, but and needs to have a battery that can stay available and without charging for extended periods of time. And its ultimate goal was to be efficient, and it leverages UDP, but it's at the same time secure through DTLS. Both these examples here are from Verizon and AT&T that they are supporting this, and they're leveraging it in their networks. And in fact, Lightweight M2M was originally developed through the OMA group, which is the Open Mobile Alliance, which is certified and sponsored by a lot of the worldwide cellular and mobile carriers. So why Lightweight M2M over MQTT? What this comparison shows is that whether it be at an initial connection or a steady state, there is a marked improvements in the amount of data and that's required to operate. So, you know, whether it be in this particular case, the estimate calls for a 50% savings by using Lightweight M2M over MQTT. And one of the nice things about Lightweight M2M and its model is it's a much more configurable experience, meaning the stacks that are available and the standardized access methods, which you'll see when Embedded Planet does their demonstration, discusses it in the context of their product, is less of a start from scratch programming model and more of a configurable stack that has a standard set of objects that enable you to get data from a number of, from the products, whether it be the battery level or the signal level, but does enable a customization to add your product specific data set. So let me give you one. This is a high-level customer story, but we've implemented OneEdge in the field. We have a number of customers that are going through and doing proofs of concepts and launching their product fields. And what they've proven is with OneEdge, they're able to manage and provide fast analysis and requires zero customer effort. It's happening, if it happens with only the first 5, what happens if we scale up to 25,000 units in the field? So for us, it starts with the first mile, and whether it be modules or connectivity plans or software platforms, Telit has that today, and it helps us connect from the things to the clouds and the application. And with that, I'm going to kind of give you the final closure on this is with the OneEdge product, which is built upon both our modules and our IoT platform and the special work that we've done to integrate it all together into a complete solution that supports your device management. It includes a speedy launch of your applications and through quality of service ensures your business applications are up and running. We've done this through not just the integration, but the integration of the next generation protocols and technologies that are becoming industry standard, not proprietary, and less in turning the experience of building an IoT solution into a more configurable experience instead of a complete development experience. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Matt. Thank you very much, and we'll have time for questions at the end.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. This is Matt. Just wanted to thank everybody for taking the time today to get on the webinar. I really appreciate that. Embedded Planet's been helping customers connect up their products since 1997, and we do a lot of work with Telit on the cellular side of connectivity. On the slides today, we're going to run through our products and services. Chris Trowbridge is as Amanda mentioned, the software manager. He's going to run through some really good stuff of using OneEdge, which just comes ready to run right out of the box when you fire up one of our cellular connected products. And then after that, I'll run through some more applications and some of the products. On this slide, we'll just run through some of the products. In the top left, you see products called Agora. It's kind of gauged for industrial applications where you have a number of sensors plus BLE activity for configuration of the module. On the upper right, is the name of that product is Chronos. It's using the ME310 from Telit for cellular connectivity into our product. So we have a couple of different flavors of that module and configuration. But once again, both of them support the Telit modules. And you see some of the examples of the products that we'll talk about later in the slides. This is a mains power module. This is a connected vehicle. And the bottom right is a USB to cellular connection. The the real key is we can help the customer, kind of those examples that Bill was talking about of the implementation. We can help the customer get that implemented, get the product out to market, leveraging these products very quickly to reduce the market. So on the design services is what we use or leverage to be able to get your product developed as quick as possible. So on the wireless side, we can do cellular, Wi-Fi, BLE, or LoRa, and get your product certified and get it into production quickly. We've done a number of different applications in industrial, logistics, retail, and environmental monitoring. Kind of different flavors of the design projects. We can take products that I just showed and customize those for your application, and take kind of a specific product that you may have and modify it and add connectivity. And all that includes working with the hardware and the software to get your product connected up into the cloud. And once again, all the cellular modules come with OneEdge enabled, so you're connected to that software and that configuration management, device management, right out of the box. So the two products that I mentioned earlier, Agora on the left, kind of a little bigger cellular connected product with BLE and a number of different sensors. And then on the right is our Chronos module. So more of a modem, you drop it in either as a castellated soldered iron module, or it's got the 20-pin standard connector on it. So a couple different options for connecting it up. And both products are certified for AT&T and Verizon. So you're ready to go with connectivity out of the box. The Agora module actually has a processor available on it, so you can use an operating system on that module for programming and get your product and software done and quickly out to market. The sensors on the module on the left, there's temp, humidity, pressure, air quality, 2 different accelerometers, and an audio interface. So a number of different sensors to be able to leverage, and we can configure those in production so you get exactly the configuration that you want. And both products come with the OneEdge capable. So once again, as I said, you can turn it on and you're ready to go out of the box. So there's zero touch, no onboarding for getting it configured to be able to have OneEdge access. Chris, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right, thank you, Matt. Good morning, everyone. This is Chris Trowbridge from Embedded Planet. And I'm going to walk through a demonstration of the OneEdge system in action using a couple of our Agora products. For the setup, I had our mains-powered unit that functions as a Bluetooth to cellular gateway. And then I had another Agora device with both have temperature sensors on them, and we were relaying data from both of those units up into the OneEdge system. So to start with, the Telit App Center, which is kind of your starting point for working with OneEdge, has 3 different applications that you can start with. The first one is device management, and this is more the high-level management of your devices. You can see things like signal quality, battery level, location, event logs, and you can actually run AT commands remotely. So this is kind of what the landing page looks like for your devices at a glance. And if we dive in here real quick, you can click on the Devices tab and see a list of your devices and drill into one and get a lot of information about each device, such as the battery level or the location, both GPS and from the network. So where is the cell tower that's connected to? You can get information about the signal quality and signal strength, the access point name it's using, and then run AT commands remotely. So here I'm asking for the signal quality, and there you go. So that's a really useful feature, and this This app is geared more toward your high-level management. It's kind of cleaned up and doesn't go into super depth, but it's a good interface for offering to your customers. Next, we're going to look at the firmware management application. So you can create and manage firmware update campaigns. And it's really easy to use this with OneEdge. So this is the landing page. You can see all of your devices broken down by model type and firmware version. You can see recent campaigns and any that are in progress right now or recent activity. So I'm going to walk through the process of creating and kicking off a campaign. So first, we go to the Create Campaign button up at the top, and you pick the device model. Our Agora device is an ME910C1 based, so pick that, and then you can filter by the current firmware version, and you can also filter by any user-specific tags. So that's what I've done here. So I'll just filter by the tag Agora. Then next, you pick your target firmware version that you want to move to. You give your campaign a name and a description, and pick the time. You can do right now, you can schedule it for later. I'll pick for the 31st and agree to the terms and say create campaign. And just like that, there's the campaign. On the 31st, it will kick off. You can go and you can see here all the information on the campaign, and it's that easy. Then the last app that we want to look at here is the management portal. This is the kind of developer-centric, a little deeper dive. You can get into the under the hood Lightweight M2M interface. And you can also manage the connectivity for your plans. Telit also offers SIM cards and plans. So this is the landing page for the development portal. And if we dive in here, I'll go to one of my things, and you can see that you can get all this nice data at a glance here. You can see the last time it checked in, see the tags, the Agora tag, and see the location. That little yellow blip was data that just came in from the onboard sensor on the mains powered unit. And then in a second here, I think we should see some data come in on the external temperature too. That's the one that's connected over Bluetooth. There we go. You can see the battery level as well, and you can get the link quality. So all these properties, all this data is kind of aggregated here in this nice first overview page. Scroll down here, and you can see link quality and RSSI. The next tab dives deeper into the Lightweight M2M structure, and you can go into this object browser. And as Bill was talking about, the Lightweight machine-to-machine spec has predefined objects. So, for example, device is always number 3, and all this data is structured already for you, so it's consistent across any device. So if you ask for the device number 3 data, you're going to get something structured like this. And that makes it easier to integrate many different types of devices into this one back-end system. And so with the Lightweight machine-to-machine browser here, we can see all this data at a glance. This is how it's all coming in. The firmware update one is how the mechanism they use to kick off firmware updates. You can see location data in here and connectivity statistics, like how much data has been used, the IP address. There's a lot of data that comes in through here. And then also there's created objects for temperature. So there's a standard object of 3303 for temperature. And if we sit here for a second, we should see a new piece of data come in for the onboard sensor, which is instance 0. There you go. So it live updates, gives you a nice interface into the data under the hood. On the next tab is the device management tab. You get an insight into these predefined properties. You can see the battery. Oh, there was a new update of the data there for the onboard temperature. There's also actions, so you can remotely trigger a reboot, which I think this is a really nice feature that, say for some reason the device is stuck, you can click reboot right here and the device reboots. You can see the location just like in some of the other apps, GPS and network. That is about where my house is. You can see on the monitoring tab, the location here, the IP address, the tower information, and then more statistics, data usage, things like that. On the firmware tab, this is a more manual way to kick off a photo campaign. This is geared more toward the developer, so it's not as hand holding as the firmware update app. So it's not as polished of a way, but it still works just the same. It just goes to show that it uses the LW-M2M interface under the hood. And then I wanted to show some more remote commands being called here. So I'm asking for the signal quality again, and then I'm going to send the AT command to reboot the module. So that's a really nice feature, I think. Another tab we want to look at here is the Events tab. You can see when a device connects and disconnects, any warnings or errors. That's really good info to be able to see at a glance. You can drill down and you can export this to a CSV file. A lot of cool things you can do there. Then lastly, I want to talk about the connections. So this is like your SIM cards, your data plans. We're going to drill into one here, and you can see this is for Embedded Planet as a customer, the IP address. You can see the APN that's being used. You can see the carrier, it's AT&T. You go to the usage tab, you can see how much data has been used, and you can see more remote AT. So that's a quick overview of the OneEdge portal and the applications that are exposed for you. So right now I'm going to hand it back over to Matt to go over a couple of our applications.
Excellent, thanks, Chris. So Chris going through all the the OneEdge and the configuration is a really great example of not only the power of the working with Telit OneEdge, but also what we provide, what we help with customers. So like this product that's on the screen is a BLE to cellular gateway that you plug into an outlet, you configure it, and you're off to the races. So if you have BLE sensors, whether it's for furnaces or patients or temperature sensors, whatever type of BLE connected sensor you have, this could be the bridge, the gateway to bring that BLE data in and send that up into the cloud via cellular. And then all that configuration and device management stuff that Chris just covered is all included. It's there. You turn it on, you're ready to go. And that's the beauty of OneEdge being married into the cellular module, and that's what we help customers with, is to build up a product just like this using our Agora or Chronos solutions that I showed on the previous slides. You're really decreasing the time to market, not only on the software and the hardware side, but especially on the certification side, so you can get out to market that much quicker. And Chris really showed the expertise on the software side that we have to kind of put that whole product together. So that's one of the examples of the products that we've created based off of Agora, or one of the cellular modules that we have. Another example is this connected vehicle. So we've done once again, leveraging that Agora module is a box that you can add into a trailer or a truck or whatever and hook up into OBD2. It has the CAN interface that's available. And so it really gives you a powerful way to monitor, once again, BLE sensors potentially on a vehicle and bridge that data into the gateway, which is the Agora module, and send that out over cellular, plus all the other diagnostic and telemetry information that are in the vehicle. So this is, imagine if you have a product that you want to connect up. That's exactly what we've done with this product, is connect up a vehicle. So if you have whatever the type of machine or piece of equipment, we can connect that up via cellular and leverage that OneEdge configuration that Chris and Bill covered. And so just some of the applications, we've done with Agora and also now with Kronos, the other module, building management, elevators, escalators, those types of applications inside a facility. On the top right, industrial equipment. If you have a piece of control equipment, the cellular connectivity can be added without messing with the control system, and then pulling data and sending that up into the cloud or to wherever you need it for management. Conveyor belts is another application, and then the BLE mains power is what we call that module, that BLE to cellular gateway in the bottom right. We work with a couple of customers doing, once again, BLE sensors for flow monitoring or gas monitoring, a bunch of different applications. Pull that BLE data into the gateway and then send it up. And all the products that we've covered, we can provide those to the customer either as the product in production, or we can work with a customer to integrate those into your specific application or your product. And then lastly, kind of get you started from a development standpoint, whether it's the Agora with the ME910 or Kronos with the ME310, we have development modules that come with all the software that you can download and get up and running quick. And if you're on the webinar today, we've got a free dev module that we can offer. If you get us your email, we'll work with you to get you one of those free dev modules. You purchase the cell modem or the cell module, and then you get the dev board with that. But the real key is we can help you kind of, whether it's using one of our modules or designing a whole system for you, we can build up your product and get it connected very quickly and get it out to market. Amanda, I'll send it back to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Matt and Chris and Bill. Great information. Before we get to the questions, I'm going to go ahead and drop one last poll to our audience. If you'd like to have one of our experts contact you, please respond here on the poll and someone will reach out. We now have time for a few questions, and there's still time to ask a question. So if you'd like to submit, please use the box to the right of the slide presentation, and we will do our best to cover it here. Let's see, we've gotten a couple questions here. So first one, does the Telit platform work only with Telit modules, or is there a way to enable other systems to work over Lightweight M2M with the platform?
So let me answer that two ways. Of course, we love it when it works with our modules, and there's two aspects. One, because of the protocols, whether it be Lightweight M2M or more broadly the historical MQTT, we work with all kinds of wireless and wired devices for that matter, where we can deal with broadband-based connections as well as wireless communications with the platform. So, and it does work not just with our products, and in fact, we have a large percentage. Second, in cases where you might have a historical embedded system out there where you want to attach it via Lightweight M2M to the platform and take advantages of its next generation technologies and lightweight. We have an SDK we use that enables us to, while not put it on another company's cellular module, if it's a Linux and in the future a Windows-based system, we can leverage our SDK to help you connect those things. So if you have an embedded system like a field pump or some other control system, we can help you leverage the SDK to, say, if it's a Linux-based system, to communicate with the Telit platform, and leverage the standard and configurable nature of Lightweight M2M to communicate with the key system items on that device.
Great, thanks, Bill. Next question we have here. What are the steps necessary to onboard and provision a device with a OneEdge-enabled Telit module, something such as the Agora that you spoke of?
Okay, I can take that one. There's really no process there. There's a certificate that is baked into the module at the factory, and you just plug it in and you're good to go.
Well, that makes it easy.
Yeah.
Next question, and this one's probably for Bill here. Is Telit OneEdge available on all the Telit modules?
Today, it is available primarily on our CAT-M/narrowband IoT modules, the ME910 and the ME310 versions. So, but we are expanding its application and its implementation probably first into a Cat 1 level product. Great,
thanks. Next question here. How long is a typical custom cellular design with the Telit ME310?
Chris, do you want to?
Yeah, sorry. It's maybe 6 to 9 months, I would say. With ours, it can be a little bit faster if you use our modem, the Kronos module. That's kind of the benefit of being able to use the modem that's already designed, that's created and ready to go and certified.
Yeah, and if we can leverage, this is Matt, if we can leverage the design that we have, we can, you can kind of bridge the gap between the 6 to 9 and just leveraging the modem, right out of the box.
Great. Let's see, next question we've got here. How do you pipe device data to a third-party cloud backend, something like Azure or AWS from the OneEdge portal?
I can take that one too. So one of the things that we weren't able to dive into with the demo this morning is how do you pipe the data once you've got it to a third party like that. OneEdge has a triggers section. It's a graphical flow-like interface where you can configure event-based triggers to seamlessly and securely funnel that data to AWS or Azure, Google, Teams, Slack, SAP, Twilio, or even like a simple webhook. So there's no coding or development. It's all graphical UI based. It's very easy to use, and there's built-in integrations to those third-party services.
Yeah, this is Bill. We continue to add more on a regular basis, especially as like, for example, an Azure changes, whether it be into an event hub or an IoT hub, we continue to expand our connection into those third-party enterprise platforms.
Great, thanks, guys. Next question we've got here. Does Embedded Planet do custom sensor designs that would talk to the main power unit?
Yeah, definitely. So if a customer let's say if a customer had an idea like, hey, we want to make this BLE, audio or accelerometer or air sensor, air quality sensor, yeah, we could help them build up the mechanics and the certification for that.
Okay, great. Let me see if we've got any other questions coming in here.
I see some things in the inbox.
Yep, Bill, if you want to take any of those, feel free.
So I see, I can see what is the cost of OneEdge. So OneEdge has a couple of components to it, and one is that you can buy the module, the specialized OneEdge module with the firmware on it, and then we have a low cost version. Typically, we have a number of price points on standard connection, but if you just want device management, it's down into the 10-cent range for attaching to the platform and doing device management. It's very much dependent upon the data, the often you connect, how often you want to connect and collect data. At very, very low data rates can be down around 10 cents. And we are looking at some innovative subscription model.
Great, thanks, Bill. Here's another one that might be for you as well. How is the application data transferred from OneEdge to my cloud solution on Azure?
Okay, so with the Telit platform, we look at data flow in two ways. So one is we call a data at rest model, where it just stays in the platform and we store it, and you can run the application, and we have a kind of a northbound API structure that enables you to get that data and do a lot of different things with it. And in fact, that's all publicized at docs.devicewise.com. Very easy, and all of our documentation is openly accessible, and you can dive down in terms of finding that. The second way is what we call data in transit, where we act as the capture, manipulation or transformation aspect. You can follow the ETL model of business intelligence, extract, transform, and load. On the northbound side, on Azure, we have direct publish into the Event Hub, and we're in the process of adding increased integration into the IoT Hub, most likely through IoT Central.
Great, thanks.
And the other aspect of that is you can leverage the APIs to pull data. If you want to write a custom application in Azure, to pull the data of the IoT platform directly into your application instead of it being a push publish from us.
Thanks, Bill. Another question we just had come in. We would like to migrate from MQTT to Lightweight M2M. What kind of support can you provide to transition the upgrade of our firmware?
So we do have.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you want to take that?
No.
Embedded Planet can support on that as well. We were very versed with LWM2M, so go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's good you have that as well as Telit has technical support for that. And as I mentioned earlier, I mentioned our Lightweight M2M SDK stack. Part of depending upon if it's the SDK operates on a Linux and in the future Windows environments, you can compile that for your environment and replace your MQTT stack with a Lightweight M2M stack. Thank you. Go ahead, Amanda.
Yep. Next question we've got in the inbox here. Can we create a report or visualization with data from multiple devices?
depending upon what you mean by report, you can. What I would say is you can visualize them independently, but if you want a custom report, we have a way of directly. If you want something specialized, we can pump that direct into Power BI from, say, Azure or Microsoft. And it's very, very easy to write a custom. Part of our philosophy at Telit, since we have focused very much on the device management and the data delivery and configuration management, we've leveraged the visualization capabilities of the wide range of enterprise application companies out there, like the main companies like Microsoft, IBM, and AWS, and even Google, and that's where we focused a lot on our either data publishing or APIs for pulling. Go ahead, Amanda.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, we're getting a lot of great questions here. Next one I've got, do these dev kits have Laurawan, or are they only BLE, Wi-Fi plus SIM 4G? Secondary to that, which IoT Edge feature is available to try it out?
Yeah, the Agora module that we showed, that does have, would act as a LoRa sensor. The Chronos is just the cell interface, but the Agora one does have the option for either, LoRa connectivity or cellular connectivity, or BLE for that matter. And then what was the second one? Sorry.
Yeah, second half to that was which IoT Edge features are available to try this out?
Wait, what was the which IoT Edge features are available? I'm not sure if he's referring what he means by by IoT Edge. Is he talking about the Microsoft protocol IoT Edge, or is he talking about what's actually in the thing for trying? I'm not sure of that question, to be honest with you. Okay, maybe he can give us a bit more information there. We've got another question here. Our clients demand platform agnostic hardware. How easy is it to change the destination platform settings or configuration for a connected device so that it sends data up to the client's preferred platform? So
Chris, or Bill, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, either one. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, so the third-party integration is done in the cloud from the OneEdge portal. So you could have one device that is sending data to AWS and another device that is sending data to Azure, another one that's sending it to Google. So there's flexibility at the cloud, and you just, once the data's in the cloud, you can funnel it wherever you need to.
But we can also,
I think there's a couple. Yeah, go ahead. What I was going to say is that there's, from a Telit perspective, for OneEdge to work properly from a device management perspective, it is linked to our platform from a device management, because of when the module is built at the factory, it has the destination bootstrap server set up so that when the module turns on, it knows where to go, and that bootstrap server is where we configure where the module is then told to register with. And for it to be OneEdge, it from a device management perspective, it leverages the Telit. Now, from a data delivery, which means you either want the data to go into the platform and then we can send it on, or you want the data to go directly to another data analysis source, we can do that. It's been done. Go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. We're coming up on the hour here, so I believe that's about all the time we have for today. Audience, please be sure to check your inboxes in the coming days for the slides and the replay link. Thanks, Jerry, Chris, Bill, and thank you to all who joined us today.